what's up, everyone? Welcome into the Why Am I a Mets Fan podcast. That's Ashley Wenskowski. I'm Samantha Crossan, and we have 11 and a half minutes to talk to you about baseball. How's everybody doing? How you doing?
We're back. We promised more episodes during the Dodgers series. Here we are. Your two smiling podcasters who watched the Mets get demolished in the first game of this series to the Los Angeles Dodgers. I really hope all of our Dodgers fans enjoyed, because if I can't have joy, I hope that you guys can, because you hold a special place in my heart.
That is so nice of you to say.
Thank you.
How selfless. The Mets lost 4-0. It was kind of right on track. Like it was exactly what I thought it would be. David Peterson went out there, didn't do much.
David Peterson
whole lot
threw
of
up on himself.
And it's been that way for a while.
I'm done with David Peterson.
And the thing is, let's just start with David Peterson. I know I'm kind of out on him. He's canceled. But the point is, he actually was like getting out of some jams like very early in the game. And then he still, I think, let up like a 3-run homer. And then it's just, when they're coming from behind at this point, I'll say this, it would be hard for the Mets to beat the Dodgers in their current state anyway. But when they're trying to come back from down a couple runs on the road, you're not feeling so good about that.
No. So David Peterson, actually, he gave up a run early on yesterday, and then in the bottom of the first, he had bases loaded,
yes,
no outs, struck out the side to get out of it. Awesome. I saw that, and I was like, all right, maybe David is going to wake up today. Honestly, it wasn't the worst start. I mean, he made a mistake on the 3-run homer. Obviously, that's one pitch you'd like to have back. It wasn't a great start from him. He hasn't had his ERA last year in the second half through now. Look at David Peterson's ERA in that time frame. I think it's in like the 6s or the 7s. We have a David Peterson problem on our hands, and I'm prepared to get into that at a different time. But we're focusing on the series with the Dodgers today explicitly. The real problem is this team cannot buy a hit, which is ironic for one of the most expensive payrolls in baseball. I'm sure if you're a Dodgers fan or a Mets fan, you saw SportsCenter put out this week that this is the most expensive series in the history of Major League Baseball, I might add. The New York Mets obviously have a $375 million payroll. The Los Angeles Dodgers, $413 million plus. Most expensive series in baseball history, and the Mets are just going to go out there and prove that they don't belong with the big boys. They were shut out for the second straight night. This was their 6th loss in a row, which was special and fun.
Yep.
In those 6 losses, they have combined, throughout 6 games, they scored 9 runs. For instance, the Minnesota Twins scored 43 runs in that same 9-game stretch. The Minnesota Twins.
That's insane. 43 runs, not in a 6-game stretch,
Minnesota!
Is bizarre. I know. All right. What do you have against Minnesota, first of all? Remember when you did that to Toronto?
Yeah, I did.
No, honestly, I agree with you. Listen, I'm looking even just at the last 4 games, and 3 of them, the Mets have 0 runs. Like, at some point, you need to do your job. You're a baseball player. Hit the damn ball. Nobody is hitting. Nobody's doing anything.
There's no spark.
So aggravating. It's so frustrating.
They're dead. Do
something. And you know what? All of a sudden, no, literally, I'm going to just take the stick out and start poking people. Do something. And I understand it's the Dodgers. I understand they have great pitching. They have great defense. This is a tough team to really probably score any runs against, but it's also like baseball. Like, it's a 9-inning game. And I just feel like these days you're seeing higher scores. Like, even look at the Yankees. I'm just going to give the Yankees some props, okay? Like, that game last night against the Angels just showed a real level of heart that I found to be inspiring. Like, I was watching that game play out, continuously seeing the Yankees get behind. Aaron Judge, their star, playing like the star he is, in parentheses, in the regular season. But Mike Trout, their star, right? Doing everything that he's supposed to do. Homer for homer. Epic classic. I'm sure the Yankees fans or the Yankees sports talk people will come on today and just trash the pitching on both sides. But the truth is that game was awesome. And that was what baseball is all about. And for the Yankees to win that at home, coming back, Aaron Judge hits a 2-run homer, walk-off win. It doesn't get better than that. And they were also, mind you, on a 5-game losing streak. Like, sometimes to get out of that, you really got to fight. I'm not saying the fight I need to see, from this sorry-ass Mets team.
Yes. No, I agree with you on the front, and I said this to you last night. If you're the Yankees and you have to score 10 runs to win your what would have been your 6th straight loss, and you battle back 3 or 4 times when you were down in the game, the Yankees deserve to win that game. We can all be honest. On another time, when we have more than 9 more minutes, I am going to get into, by the way, we're going to make a last 5% about Mike Trout's career. I have a few things to say regarding all of that.
Great.
But it was great to see him hit 2 home runs last night, a guy you root for, obviously a guy that's been limited by injury in the past few years, not to mention he plays for the wrong team in Los Angeles. So always great to see him succeed, a Philly area native like myself. The point is that we're talking about the Mets hitting struggles, right? All right. It wasn't even the last 2 nights in a row. They've actually been shut out 3 of the last 4 nights. As you can imagine, as we touched on yesterday, the Carlos Mendoza chatter is it's starting to pile. We're starting to stack on the Carlos Mendoza stuff. You can fire Carlos Mendoza tomorrow if you want, and maybe that would be the right choice. I don't see into the future, unfortunately. Somebody would probably pay me a lot of money for that.
Sometimes she does. She's mostly right on her predictions.
I do have psychic feelings, but that's another time. Last 5%. Anyway.
We don't have time for all that.
My psychic powers, we'll get into that another time.
Yep.
You can fire Carlos Mendoza tomorrow. It's not going to change the fact that nobody can hit in this lineup, okay? We are going to have another deeper discussion. I keep teasing into all these deeper discussions about David Stearns' roster construction at some point, because I've seen a few things that I'd like to get into over the last few years. My point is, listen, if we approach Memorial Day, like we said yesterday, Memorial Day, June 1st, and this Mets team still sucks, we're going to have to reevaluate Carlos Mendoza, and we might have to get rid of him. We can all be honest to say that right now. But right now, on April, what day is it? I don't even know, 16th? 14th. Shows you where I'm at in my life. We don't need to be having everybody take a deep breath on Carlos Mendoza.
Look at the camera.
Everybody take a deep breath.
Do any of you know what day it is? What's going on?
Because, wait, I have a closing point. Steve Galbs is trying to calm us all down. Good friend Stevie, friend of the program on SNY. He tweeted today, "It looks really bad right now, but in 2015, the Mets lost 7 straight and scored 9 total runs, similar to what's going on now." We all know what happened in 2015. They went to the World Series. 2018, 11-1 start. Mickey Callaway was the second coming of Gil Hodges. We know how that ended. 2024, 11 games under on May 29th. We know how that ended. They went to the NLCS. 2025, the best team in Major League Baseball in mid-June. We also
know how that
ended. His point there, and I actually like that he included 2 bad years and 2 good years as examples, was that nobody knows what the hell is going on April 14th.
No, it's actually a great idea to include the bad examples too, because that is the overarching point. Teams that look great could end up being terrible. Teams that look terrible to start could end up being great. That is the beauty and also the horror of a 162 game season.
God.
It's horror, but it's not like any other sport like that, you know? I feel like that, and that's what makes really baseball, I think, kind of cool. To be honest, I'm just trying to find something beautiful in the Mets scoring 0 runs, but just trying to find beauty in that. No, but really, if you think about most sports, like basketball, football, I think about teams are getting better as they're going on, right? You want to be playing your best basketball, your best football by the time you get to the playoffs. I feel like with baseball, it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes it's a little magic in the air. It's a little bit of luck. It's very mental. Like, there are a lot of other factors that go into being a good baseball player. And I do think you're right to say one thing. People in New York have a pretty short leash for failure. You could fire Carlos Mendoza tomorrow. It frankly is not going to solve the problem at hand right now immediately. It's just not. Because like you said, the roster construction, we don't have to go down a deep dark hole. But let's talk about it a little. This was always an experiment. You had like 5 guys playing out of position, and you didn't necessarily replace the offensive power from, say, a guy like Pete Alonso, who, oh, by the way, you happened to catch the Orioles game last night?
I was just going to bring that up. I literally was going to say, did you see Pete Alonso last night hit a 3-run home run to win the game for the Orioles? Not only did they came back from like down by 7 runs, he hit it to a fucking polar bear. There was a polar bear that he hit it to, dressed up for him in Camden Yards. So when it rains, it pours. When it rains in Metsland, it actually monsoons. That's what's going on right now, just to set you all a scene. But no, on the note about David Stearns, this is like our most unhinged episode ever. We're just all over the place. We will get deeper into the roster construction at one point. I just have one thing to say. You threw a cast of characters. Nope, I have a couple. You threw a cast of characters out there, as you said, playing out of position. We're doing some experimenting. We're, thinking our stats and things are gonna show us the way through. Hey, David, I just have actually one message to you if you're going to listen to this podcast.
Not the first name.
All All right. Do we remember what happened at the end of last season? We actually threw up on ourselves and didn't make the playoffs because we had no pitchers. A grand total of 0. We had Jonah Tong from Binghamton coming up to pitch because we had no one else. And then what did we do in the offseason? We said, actually, you know what sounds really good? We're going to add Freddie Peralta. Okay, noted, nice addition. And the same crew is going to run it back for the starting pitchers.
There are some pitchers that I honestly never want to see again. And even the guys who are sort of the normal cast of characters, I'm not sure if I'm feeling 100% good about right now. Like, I'm not 100% in on almost anybody besides Nolan McLean, to be honest.
Should we discuss Frankie Montas?
Montas, Manaea.
Manaea is not even... What is Sean Manaea getting paid for right now?
I'm not 100% certain. It's a little unclear. Kodai Senga... I mean, like, you need at least 2 or 3 guys who you trust. And just back to the Pete Alonso thing, just for one moment.
Salt right in the wound.
Players leave the Mets and they get better. And it upsets me.
What does that say about your organization?
And they come here and they get worse.
So on the Dodgers series, on the Dodgers front, my coming back down to earth, since we have 3 more minutes, of 2 things to say. Number 1, if the Mets were going to take a game of this series, last night certainly felt like the good one to take, considering you had their, 4th, 5th starter, Justin Robleski, out there. He's got like a 4 ERA. That was the guy that you could hit against because, for instance, tonight, if you're the Mets and you're trying to get yourself out of a 6-game slump, well, you have Yoshinobu Yamamoto taking the mound against you. Now, the positive thing is Nolan McLean's pitching for you, so hopefully that goes well. And then tomorrow you have Shohei Ohtani. So if you're the Mets and you're staring down not having an 8-game losing streak, I would say your odds there aren't so high. Last night was the night to hit, and they still could not.
They could not. Again, the problems on this team are a little endless right now.
Existential.
And again, we went on another podcast a few days ago where I was kind of talking about this idea that we have circled back to on this podcast a couple times, which is that when one thing goes, it feels like at least in the beginning of the season for the Mets, when one thing goes right, you know what I mean? They'll score 10 runs, but the other team scores 11 because the pitching is bad. Or Nolan McLean will go out there and the other team scores 1 run, but the Mets score 0. That's actually a real life example of something that happened the other day. It might not have been McLean, but it happened. But now we're actually kind of hitting a real, like almost like a spookier point, which is not that, oh, there's just one problem. Like the problem changes every single night, or there's multiple problems happening at the same time. Not good.
The Mets monsoon. Today for our last 1%, because we have 1 more minute, I would like to highlight, and our Dodgers fans, I'm sure, are going to hate me for this, so please all keep me in your hearts after I say this. Last 1%. Yesterday, when the Mets arrived at Dodger Stadium, there was a video playing. The Dodgers were playing a hype video to showcase that they snatched good friend Edwin Diaz from the Mets. Now, not only, all right, play whatever video you want, do whatever you want in your home ballpark. Dave Roberts, manager of the Dodgers, in the video says, and I quote, "There's a reason Edwin Diaz wanted to come here. He's chasing a ring." It gets to a point. You've already won. It's like that meme that's like, stop it, he's dead. He's already dead. We're already dead, all right? You already took Edwin Diaz. You beat us in 2024. You won the World Series last year. This year you're 12-4 and we're 7 and whatever the hell, 10. We get it, okay? Like, we get it on Edwin Diaz. You didn't have to play the video. Was the video necessary? Come on. Even if you're a Dodgers fan, was the video necessary? I'm losing it a little.
The video was a lot. I can't lie, the video. And honestly, I'm not one to normally, but come on.
Video was a little bit.
Video was a little bit. But honestly, as far as what Robert said, I was going to say, come on.
No, he's right.
You're a New Yorker. Don't come on here and tell me that wasn't the truth.
No, it was the truth.
I mean,
it doesn't mean I'm not upset about it.
Remember when we were grasping for straws? It was a money thing. It wasn't, no. Not weather and not.
Although Diaz did have some quote yesterday where he said it was the Dodgers told him they could turn him into like a Hall of Fame player. Like he would go to Cooperstown if he went to the Dodgers. I mean, him and his like 6 ERA he has right now, that might beg to differ, but I don't know. That's his business.
And we'll see you all.
later.
When the next big thing happens. Bye.